Previously on Dances with Dice, when last we left our heroes Finian, the halfling artificer, Felix, the human bard, and Theo, the satyr fighter. They had gathered themselves on their ship that would begin their long 2-month journey south to the Royal Aftermiria mines. However, dangers await around every corner, and as our heroes now just wrap up their battle with the Harpies, what new mysteries await them on the long river road ahead, this week on Dances with Dice.
All right. You all find yourself on the deck, breathing heavily. The adrenaline from battle sort of flows out of you guys. And Thorak sheaths his sword. It's like, fuck me. Haven't had harpies in almost 6 months. Thought we wiped those fuckers out. All right. Crew, gather up any wounded. Getting below deck. He looks over you. You lot okay?
Most of my blood is inside me.
Looks like most of their blood's on top of you.
Yeah.
The doctor said all my bleeding's internal. That's where my blood is supposed to be.
Gives him. Finn just gives the thumbs up while the GB's just like bark.
Sorry. He's like at the dead corpses.
Yeah.
Woof. Woof.
Yeah.
Woof.
Theo's like, we've had much worse than this. And as her like echo is like slurps down and returns to her skin.
And the Thorak is like, yeah, I'm going to ignore that.
Can we have a better verb than schlorp?
No, because it's tradition. Dances with Dice has the tradition of the word schlurp because schlurply and glurpy.
Schlorpy and glorpy.
The original pairing.
That's a deep cut right there.
The original OTP of Dances with Dice. But now she's gonna loot their corpse and take their vest.
They don't have much of anything on them. It's just rags.
They don't have money?
No.
Oh.
They're raiders. They were raiding the ship. Why would they raid with money?
That's fair.
I'm gonna grab some of the teeth.
Okay, yeah. Roll me a nature check.
I'm glad that I knew you said teeth because your mic sort of cut out for a second.
I would grab some of the teats. No, like, give me the teeth.
Finian's out here revealing his new weird character trait. I steal tits. All right. Yeah, roll a nature check real quick.
Oh, God damn it. That's a 2 + 5, 7.
Oh.
You break a couple. You're able to pry out like one tooth. It's not that hard, but you break about half of them, and then you finally get the final one. It's just like, all right, we're done digging around this thing's mouth.
He after getting that final one, he's just like, oh, fuck it, and he just throws it away.
It's like, was it even worth it?
Theo helps with getting the body. I'm assuming we're just chucking the bodies into the river.
The bodies are just thrown off the edge of the boat. You guys kind of gather yourselves. You'll get a long rest after this. The day passed without incident.
You mean we're not going to eat these?
No, we're not cannibals.
They are humanoid.
I'm not a harpy.
Harpies are not food.
Finn doesn't know any better.
It
No,
can.
you went to college. You definitely will.
civilized society.
we are
Okay.
we are a society.
Alex, okay, Alex. One-on-one here. You can either be the college-educated engineer or feral boy with the metal dog. You can't be both.
I thought
I gotta tell you, engineers are fucking weirdos. You know what? You know what I learned? There's a lot of fields of engineering that they round pi to 4.
That
What
feels
kind
illegal.
of sick fuck uses 4 for pi?
Wouldn't
Look.
you round down to 3?
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
One would think.
You gotta go pretty deep into pi to justify a round up to 4, is
How
all
many-
I'm saying.
Okay,
Look.
how many other job fields? I know we've attacked biologists and biochem.
I think
And now we're adding.
physicists too.
Okay, so now we're
And
adding.
I think I cursed all of the British.
Yeah, and so
It's
we're gonna.
usually me.
And now
Look,
we're bringing and now engineers. Now you're on the list too. Engineers.
Hey, engineers,
look,
fuck
look.
you.
Look, I have a wisdom of +1. Like I don't
Yeah.
know a lot about the world. I'm like you kill what you kill and you eat wild things, right? You know,
So-
like
Finn's
So
the
I guess-
kind of guy that when he heard that IKEA's Swedish meatballs might have had horse in them, he's like, yeah, so?
yeah.
Thor,
Like that
Thorak looks
No,
at you, Thorak
don't,
looks at you about to
please.
like start breaking it down. It's like, nah, Finn, they're poison. If you eat them, they're poison.
That hurts your body.
How did you know how
He read it in a
Fine.
book. In a
Yeah,
book.
see, there's
They did a really big study.
he walks over to you. It's like there's certain creatures that just like they've got, because they're both prey and predators, they've naturally evolved to have, you know, some defense mechanisms against preventing from being eaten. If you're hungry, cookies down below, and like he can whip you something up.
I like how Alex's face is even doing the mental math.
So it's
I can
just-
see the equations.
I wanted a big, fucking harpy leg. I just wanted to eat one.
It would have been a
like-
human leg
Yeah, it just would have been a human leg you're
With
eating.
feathers on it.
with feathers, on, it,
yeah.
and a
Well, I
weird
mean,
foot. Yes,
they
but
would've plucked
still.
the feathers.
Look, you only get weird shit if you eat the brain matter.
that is
You only go
fair.
crazy if you eat the brain matter.
That's how you
All
get
right.
the.
Yeah,
Ah,
you-
yeah, prions. Fun
It's like,
stuff.
yeah, you're speaking from experience there, boy.
We're not eating the harpies.
The harpies get sort of schlubbed off the deck.
Is that better,
The-
Morgan?
The
It's schlubbed off.
vampire, one of the corpses of the vampire harpy is kind of like held, just like, oh, we're doing. Hold on, one of those. Weird question, because you lot seem like the adventuring type. Have you ever seen something weird like this? A weird vampire-y like thing?
Good, we did run into some thralls like the other day, right?
That was like a month and a half ago, but yes.
Was it a month and a half ago? I thought that
It was a
few
little.
weeks
It was
ago.
a little over a month ago.
Really? That was over a month? Oh boy, we've been traveling.
We
a lot.
travel a lot on foot.
Thorak looks at all of you. It's like, you lot take a look at it. Then I'm gonna fucking deal with the rest of this shit. And he like walks down. He kind of walks down and starts helping his crew kind of clear off the deck. The three of you have this small harpy corpse in front of you. It's about, because of normal harpies are about like 6 to 7 feet tall. This one's definitely more, honestly enough, I run it more fin sized, about 3-4 feet ish tall.
So these are
Um,
Chihuahua harpies.
basically
Chawarpies.
as one.
Harpies.
Exactly. The harpy, they look very much like harpies. Like from the dead bodies, you can see like they're very similar to harpies. However, they definitely do seem to have much more bat or like vampire adjacent. Like, so instead of like feathered wings, they have more like leathery, like sinewy wings. Very long, extra long canines coming out of the mouth that actually hang out of the mouth, unlike the harpy's teeth that more fit normally in like a humanoid sort of jaw. and you can just see at the edges of like the edges of like the fingertips, the wingtips, they're slowly starting to ash away as the life force, as they have been dead and starting to disintegrate.
I'm sure this is normal and fine.
They're not supposed. Aren't... It's daytime, right? It's because are they like the thralls too? Because they can be out in the day. It's not my. I've read a lot of things. This is different.
You would know, like, thralls can go out and about in the daytime. It's why they're very necessary for vampire lords. This is moderately different. Everybody roll history or arcana. Your choice.
Is it giving the weird little vampire babies in Van Helsing?
A little bit.
25.
25.
Let's see. It was history or arcana?
Your choice.
Oh, both of them are just +2. 14.
14. And Felix.
I rolled a 5.
Ah.
These things are gross.
Icky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Felix, you go down below deck to wash off all the blood and viscera that's on you.
Fair.
Go back to being pretty again.
I'll say Theo with a 14, we'll call that history. With a 14 history, there are stories of like there's stories and myths and like boogeyman tales of like, you know, vampires trying to control monstrosities or like other such like humanoid adjacent creatures, but never with much success. This kind of seems within that vein, some of those stories you've heard and read, so it's definitely weird. Finn, with your 25 on Arcana, there's definitely this is not just like biological sort of something going on, because a vampire transformation, while it's technically a curse, it's purely biological through a bite and through blood and through bites and blood and those sorts of things. Some sort of spell work is involved in whatever turned this thing into some weird harpy vampire hybrid.
Hey guys, there's more than just, because like I don't know much about like nature, but there's something magical here, like not natural magic. Like obviously vampires are magical, but you know, like somebody casts something. I don't know what though.
Cast a spell on this harpy to make it a vampire?
Like, you know how to you get bit by a vampire, and then like since the vampire, and it's like a magical curse type of thing.
Yes.
This is different because that's a natural occurrence, even though it's kind of like there's natural magic that is like of nature.
Yeah.
This is arcane. Like this is different.
They used magic to turn them into a vampire, not like biology.
Yes.
Am I back up on the main deck yet?
I'll say yeah. At this point, it's like you basically you see that while they're doing their observations, you head below deck, kind of like wash yourself off and like kind of come back out a little freshly showered and stuff, just to come back up as they're like kind of making their inferences and discoveries.
Can I cast Identify on one of them?
Sure. Let me see real quick, because Identify traditionally only works for objects, but let me read the spell real quick.
Is it being a dead body now an object?
Technically true. Dead bodies are objects. All right.
It is now not a person, it is a corpse.
That is very true. As soon as you cast Identify, Felix, and you touch the corpse, you almost recoil immediately because you're almost burned by the strength of the necromancy magic that is just rolling off this thing.
Ah, lovely.
What?
There is a lot of romancy happening here.
That's what it is.
So, someone used necrotic magic to turn this harpy into a vampire or a vampire thrall?
Why would you need what?
Why not just bite? Why do you need magic?
Why would you need thralls if you're not a vampire? And if you're a vampire, you don't need magic. This is weird.
I guess what if it's not a vampire?
Well, it's not a vampire, it's a thrall. But why would you make thralls?
No, I mean the thing behind this. What if that's not a vampire?
Why would it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why would you need thralls?
Why would you want?
The only reason you need them is because you can't go out during the day. But there's much better, I guess.
Maybe
You're
they
doing something that you don't want to get
minions?
caught doing.
There's better minions
But
to
a
have than the
vampire is
thrall.
an easier target.
Or maybe they're trying to make you think it's a vampire to throw you off their trail.
Exactly.
Thorak walks over. So, I mean, if I might offer a sailor's perspective, I mean, if there's one thing that you always need replacements of, it's crew. And, you know, there are pirates that kind of patrol the waters up and down here. You know, army does what they can, but, you know, you can never be perfect. Possible
So just bring your crew back. They've died on you.
Possible pirates doing weird fuck shit. I know there was a... God, this had to have been about 5 months back. It was a ship, it was a boat transporting rare and magical books down to Tulinian Fortress. They were recently discovered pre-World Breaker literature. They were going to be studied. Something about ancient magic and how to better harvest after Myria and, you know, its uses. So those all disappeared. Everyone assumed sank to the bottom because they found a burnt out husk of a ship not too long after it disappeared, but I don't know. Maybe pirates found some fuck shit in there. Who knows? Anyway, you know, it kind of looks all you lot are doing all right.
Yes, I'm fine. I just need to rest, obviously, but
I don't know. You
pretty easy.
take the rest of the day to yourselves. Make sure you get some food from Cookie. He's got himself up a nice pot of grub downstairs.
Oh, you
Excellent.
mean there's a person named Cookie? I thought you said there were cookies.
Oh no, he's a person named Cookie. I mean, he might have cookies. He does love to bake. You know, we try to have a little slice of home here on the boat, but you know, limited galley space, all that.
Will we call them biscuits?
Shut the fuck up.
Hannah, we're not fucking English.
You really are
You
uncultured.
might have
aren't
the
you?
accent, but we're not English.
We're
Disgusting.
We're stealing from their culture like they steal from ours.
Get out of here with
Scotland!
Scotland! Trade.
Get out of here with your unculturedness.
But but whenever you're done with that, please just throw it off the side.
Did you want one of its teeth, Finian?
No, it's just no.
Really? All right, then check.
I wanted one of the bigger ones.
Throws it off the. You guys throw it off the side. It's like
Not all about size.
So Thorak walks over to you. It's like
When you're trying to replace your
Thorax,
dog's
not
teeth with
thorax.
better teeth, then yes, size does matter.
Actually, that's fair. Yep. I'll
Thor-
let
You're trying to replace your dog's metal mechanical teeth with real biological.
He never said replace. He could just be adding.
make it into Shark Dog. Multi rows of teeth.
I was just thinking longer snout.
It's a lady. She's part shark. And the top half is the shark part. And she's like,
Thorak kind of pats you on the shoulder. Phineas like, don't worry. There's absolutely no way we make it through the rest of this journey without something else attacking us. You'll have a chance, mate. And he walks back up to the
Or
helm.
teeth. More
to the helm of the
teeth.
ship and starts kind of steering, and you hear him like he's just yelling commands at people.
All right.
You guys are all able to go downstairs. There is a you see there's a group of the crew kind of downstairs, kind of lounging. Some of them are like picking things up that might have fallen over during the battle and things like that. But your mind, you're both kind of, all of you are sort of drawn, not unlike in cartoons, by the nose, by the string of steam that forms the finger as you smell a delicious, what smells like delicious, like beef, potatoes, leeks, carrots, some sort of stew is bubbling away down below.
Finn does one of those like floats down the stairs following like the scent like with his nose.
You guys are greeted by a little, like the line of the crew kind of disperses and you're greeted by, there is a
Giant cookie.
there is a very stout but very very angry looking dwarf male standing there. He's got a bright blonde like shock of blonde hair, a thick braided blonde and sort of red beard kind of tumbling down his chest. He's got an apron on and a ladle stuck behind the ear. He's like, "Hey, wait, you don't want
Food.
you here for the food, eh? All right, come to Cookie's little corner of the kitchen, eh? All right." And he kind of ladles up 3 bowls of this hearty stew.
Is
There's
this character played by Taika Waititi?
all of the ship's cooks are played by Taika Waititi.
Everyone in this show is just Taika Waititi.
Everyone is Taika Waititi.
That sounds like a great show.
Taika Waititi in a different fake mustache each time.
Including the women. The women also have fake mustaches.
And they are still Taika Waititi.
But he ladles up 3 bowls of stew. He's like, "Oh, happy to help. Don't forget yourself some bread. If you're so inclined to extra vegetables, there's a little bar of extra vegetables over there. And don't forget your grog as well. That's in the barrel down at the end."
He's not very angry.
He just looks angry.
He just looks angry.
He's
So,
a kind man.
He's got resting bitch face.
He's like, why
got
does
furious
everybody look at me and ask you if I'm fucking angry all the time? I'm on a boat doing what I love, making food for a bunch of chuckle fucks like you, and every single day, everyone walks down and is like, "Ah, how you doing, Cookie? I was angry the day again, Cookie." He's like, "I'm a nice man."
Now I'm starting to think this is the other one. Not Taika Waititi.
I have not seen our
His
flag means.
boyfriend.
I have
Reese
not seen our
Darby?
flag means
Reese
death,
Darby.
so I'm
There we
not-
go.
I don't know. I
Now I'm
don't
starting
know.
to picture.
That's a
now I'm
true
starting to-
shame. It's a good fucking show.
Yeah.
Oh.
Season 2 wrapped. I'm so pumped.
Finn's already like just face full of like stew, just like answering his question, but you can't audibly understand what he's saying. He just, you know.
So he looks at you and says, "Swallow, boy."
Ugh. Honestly, I don't really know. I don't know. You looked a bit kind of distraught. Then you opened your mouth. You sound fine. Do people just forget? I don't know. This is delicious, by the way.
It's spicy. It's hearty. It's rich, deep, beefy sort of flavor. A delicious stew, perfect for kind of perking you up after a fight. And he's like, he looks at you, Finn, and just kind of like, points the finger at you. He's like, "He gets it."
Finn
I'm
full
sure it's
of
delicious,
full
so I'm gonna go
mouth
sit down
still
and eat
full
it.
of food, just like lifts the spoon, like.
I'm gonna go sit down and eat, and not just stand here and shove my face in it.
Oh no, I was sitting down.
Oh, you're sitting down.
You guys
yeah.
are all able to.
I just you're all over there like having a discussion. Finn's sitting down, just shoving his face. Like,
All right. Well, I'm gonna go sit and eat it too. I will go sit and eat my stewy stew.
You guys all have a lovely meal. The
Yummy,
rest of the day passes without
I'm
any
still
incident.
covered in blood.
At some
Gross.
point, you'll take a shower.
Gross.
never.
And get
I will force
yourselves.
both of you.
At some point, you'll take a shower, and
shower. I have to.
all of you get cleaned off. The evening comes. You all get a long rest, and
Long rest.
You awake the next day. Another week goes on without too much incident. There's a little bit of bad weather. And at long last, after 3 weeks of travel, you have arrived at the first major bend, getting close to the spine of the Dragonlord. Because I know, Theo, you were wanting to do something when you guys got close.
Only that when we got close, Theo gets a little antsy.
As you guys round this corner, for any of you who have never actually seen them before, which I don't think Theo maybe, but
no, Theo's been here before. Theo's definitely been to this spine.
But I don't think either of you have. You guys see kind of rising out of the fog of the morning a great, like the foothills of a giant mountain range stretching out. Even from, you guys can tell you're at least like, probably a good like 50, 100 miles away. They still appear gigantic even to you now. You would all be aware of this. The spine of the Dragonlord, it's one of the few remaining pieces of the original sort of structure that formed the core of the one world continent before the Worldbreaker came. There's rumors of deep Aftermiria deposits deep within the mountains itself, because the mountains on what is now the spine of the Dragonlord and the mountain range on the split continent, they formed a circular sort of enclosure around the heart of the world that was the magical energy source that sort of powered everything in the pre-Worldbreaker days. The mountains themselves received their name from the great battles that took place there with the Worm Speakers. And the mountain ranges themselves have been long thought to be magical or mystical in some way, as though some of that old draconic magic still lies within there. There is not, very rarely do people really adventure in there unless they are studying sort of esoteric things involving dragons or the Worm Speakers.
Yeah, I've definitely been in there then.
But like as you guys, the boat sort of goes silent as you guys start traveling this like sort of hook of the river. As everyone sort of, you kind of get the feel that everyone is sort of treating the mountains with respect, as though they are some sort of creature in and of themselves.
Theo is also amongst those people in terms of like the energy of giving respect. Theo is 100% with those folks.
Nerd.
Rude. I'm really strong. I could punch you in the nose.
Why are we quiet?
That is the spine of the Dragonlord. Or rather, the spine of the Dragonlord. That's what it is. Yes.
And
it's a sacred sort of place. Well, not. Depends on your belief system. Do you not know what the spine of the Dragonlord is?
Rocks.
Oh my god.
obviously, I've heard of that before, but I don't really know what it is.
Kind of hearing your whispering, Thorak walks up. It's like, weird shit always seems to happen around the spine. It's like, have you ever heard of all the weird shit that happens in the Godswood? Things like that. That's all more celestial in nature, dealing with the actual gods, but everyone sort of forgets that for a while there we had gods on Earth walking amongst us, dragons, that sort of thing, and that sort of magic doesn't just leave, even though the creatures themselves are dead. There's something in those rocks that is unhappy with whatever happened. What it's unhappy about, we're not entirely sure. But just because weird shit always weird shit always seems to happen. Boats blown off course, people going missing for years at a time, come back babbling, so everyone sort of just treats this end of the journey with respect and silence. Respect the mountain and it'll let you be.
Finn kind of just gives like the little like puts up his hand, does the zipper thing on his lips, and then just kind of just like sits back and starts just looking around like
He doesn't want to get kidnapped by a dragon ghost.
yeah, no. I like not disappearing and coming back babbling.
Theo, do you since you've arrived on the boat, are you still keeping the crate on you at all times, or is
All
that
times.
okay?
No, that is not stopped.
Um,
She keeps those on her at literally at all times. She keeps
as Thorak walks away, and as like the bend in the river like becomes like the full bend, as like you begin like the actual main turn, and you're closest to the spine as you will get on this route, you can feel Theo, you feel like the chest on your back. There's like just the smallest, subtlest. You can almost feel it vibrating, like when machines are turned on but like not active. Like you can just feel the power rolling through them. Just that low sort of level of continual, constant vibration.
She's tempted to open them and look, but we also know that the box is lead lined, and so when it's opened, they know someone who's looking for them could see them. Though this is still, I think she's tempted enough to sort of look around and get close to an edge of the boat where people wouldn't be able to see.
Okay.
Or Felix and Finian can see, but no one else. This is the first time they've ever made a noise of any sort, so I feel like at this point she's way too tempted. She's gonna peek inside. Like, what are they doing? What do they look like? Have they changed?
Okay.
The rocks.
I guess I'll say for the sake of brevity, you motion to the other two to kind of like gather around you. You look back and forth. You pop the lid. You can sense that all three of the stones are all emitting the vibration. As soon as you open the lid, you notice they float just the most imperceptible amount, like maybe like a couple of like millimeters, like maybe like just like barely out of like the cushioned little cups that they sit in. They just are just very subtly floating there. And every time like the cloud cover sort of clears and the mountains become visible, you watch as they float just a little higher and they begin to emit a glow from their center. And then as soon as sort of cloud cover comes back, they sort of like power back down. They seem to be reacting to being able to see the mountains.
There's something. That's where they want to go. They want to go to the spine. The rocks.
This is normal and not at all weird. Her rocks.
Well, they're clearly special. There's something magical about them. They want to go.
Rocks don't want things.
When they're magic, they can. I don't know what my accent is anymore.
Or someone's trying to take them somewhere.
Are we even entirely sure they're rocks?
As opposed to...
What are you implying?
Didn't they kind of look like... Alright, just didn't they also kind of look like eggs?
Yeah, they're...
They are... Because all of you would have seen a photo of what a dragon egg looks like. They look exactly like dragon eggs would be. However, you have touched them and felt them. They feel exactly like just carved gemstones. So your original theory was that they were reproduction art pieces for just like basically made to appear like dragon eggs, because there are collectors of dragon eggs and things like that, because all dragon eggs have not hatched in over 200 years at this point. The last dragons hatched during the war. So it's been many centuries since eggs have been a thing that people know what they look like when they are not inactive. But you guys would know what a dragon egg looks like. So they are what appear to be gemstone dragon eggs. And then you guys, whatever you learned recently, because you guys recently got some notes on dragon eggs.
I imagine it's the same as if someone were to hand us in our world, our lives, hand us a rock that was carved like a dragon egg and say, "This is a dragon egg," we'd go, "Haha, yeah, right. It's just something carved to look like a dragon egg." So, why would these be dragon eggs? That's ridiculous. Kind of thought.
Or yeah, like it's so out of touch, but you know, we've seen some shit.
But that's what I
Yeah.
mean by like why we
Yeah.
would assume they're rocks.
We-
Why we would assume immediately they're rocks, because why would they be dragon
Yeah.
eggs? That's why we assumed at first they must just be rocks.
I mean, they look like eggs. Just
I mean,
nobody's seen one. I mean, do you really know what an egg looks like before it hatches? They could be special ones. I mean, they're fucking glowing near the
we don't.
with the magical place,
Box
right?
still open.
The box is still open.
A little bit, yeah.
Shut.
Why?
Okay.
Why did Felix decide to shut it?
Because we're just leaving it opened, and we just discussed how it's lead lined for a reason.
It's true.
Felix, as you close the box,
The rocks
you-
get angry.
you feel like you also feel like that vibration, like that sort of
rocks.
power. You feel like a static shock, almost like a feedback as you close the box. Kind of like you
I
draw
flip
your
the
finger
box
back.
off.
There's a tingling at your fingertips. The box does nothing in response.
The
Okay.
box is not. It's a fucking box. It's a
That's my
fucking
response to dropping things. Is just look at it on the ground and give it the bird.
I shoot the gazebo. Do you think these could be eggs?
I mean, maybe.
Catherine
Real.
would be fucking insane if she gave the first 3 idiots that she saw eggs.
What if she?
We
If he's
found these.
She
Well, they
seemed
were-
like a decently smart woman.
They were Catherine's, and she told us to. She had us
Hold
keep them
on to
because
them.
yeah, she told us to hold on to them. And someone else, I'm going to go through my notes, but someone else told us we needed to return them to the fortress. That they needed to go
The
to
everyman, I'm pretty fucking sure.
Everyman, yeah.
Everyman, and that might have been
don't know.
Bartholomew. That might have been some of Bartholomew's final words.
That was, yeah, Bartholomew told us to take the eggs to the fortress. That was one of
Well, the
Bartholomew
maybe
before
eggs.
he died.
No, because we
Yeah.
didn't have.
Or
No,
the
never mind.
rocks.
Sorry, I'm wrong.
We did. Yeah.
We did.
You were attacked because you had them.
It is.
Listen.
Oh my god.
Look, they may or may not have known what they were, or maybe they do know what they are.
That would
And they
explain
gave
why
him-
they're so anxious to get them.
Well, so they gave them to us. We're fucking nobody, right? So maybe they thought no one would be looking for. I don't know. I'm just possibilities,
if-
you know.
Bartholomew trusted them with us.
And he was a fucking
Bartholomew
dragon.
doesn't know us.
He knows
with exception
me.
of you. Yes. But, like, I wouldn't put that in the hands of someone that wasn't, like, very
did-
strong and very well trained, not 3 chuckle fucks in
Did he
their early
really have a
20s.
choice?
I'm not a chuckle fuck. I am strong and I am well trained.
You
I
are.
spent my whole time. I've spent my
But
whole
you're
life
young.
researching dragons. Bitch.
So am I. It's not an insult. It's. I would put it in the hands of someone with a lot more experience than us.
I mean, he kind of didn't really have a choice at the time.
He didn't, but Catherine did.
What if they didn't know? What if we? Or
I
maybe someone was
cannot-
after them, or maybe they knew they had eyes on them, so they gave them to somebody else. I'm just saying, we shouldn't discount the possibility that they might not be just stones.
But what if, hypothetical here, one of us had bad intentions? They wouldn't know that. They don't know us. That would be insane.
What if they do know us?
Then they know that I have bad intentions. Bad idea.
She kind of like scoots the box away.
I don't give a shit about the fancy rocks. I'm not dying for them, is what I'm trying to say. If it's between my life and those, I'm not dying for them.
Theodosius.
Hey, you know lines that come back in like 100 episodes to bite you in the ass? That really felt like it.
There's one of them.
Why should I
That
give a
felt like
fuck?
some foreshadowing.
Why should
give a fuck
I
about
care?
these rocks?
Why
I
should
won't
give
die
a fuck?
for these rocks.
I won't die for this rock. Why should I give a fuck about berry blue jeans? Well,
I'm just
Bartholomew told us to protect them. And I trust Bartholomew. I trusted. There's clearly something very special about them, and we do know that there's a mystery surrounding the process of the eggs. We do know that they start out looking like stones. We read that in the library.
I think it's in our best interest that, for all intents and purposes, these are fancy cut gemstones. As far as we know, all we are carrying are regular fucking gemstones that are just cut in a pretty way for some rich fuck to leave in an art gallery somewhere.
That float when they're near the spine?
Because if we treat them like they are just silly fancy rocks, we're not going to act differently about them.
Oh yes, because that would change how Theo carries them around all the time.
If we act paranoid like we're carrying something that is worth an entire civilization, it's a little different than, oh, I've got a fancy diamond in my backpack.
I will say, because this would have been something you would have figured out over time.
I do want to highlight the.
I think
fancy
that's
diamond
honest.
in my backpack. I do love
Okay,
the mental
okay.
image of Felix like going like, ooh, 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 doing a little dance or a little mockery of a nobleman.
Just real quick, so everyone has this knowledge in their head, because you would have figured this out in your time with them. In terms of their value, what the value of them were before you make any inferences about if they're anything more than gemstones, the value of each stone alone is probably between 5,000 and 10,000 gold just from the craftsmanship and work within them. Like that would be what they are worth, assuming they are not like priceless. But they have that much effort into their presentation, and like because you would have probably seen replicas at some point in your time, and those are generally what replicas carry the price tag of for rich collectors or people who want to seem fancy.
All right.
For all intents and purposes, I think we should just be carrying some pretty replicas to be pretty paperweights on some noble's desk.
You know, that
And
seems
that's
actually
all we know.
that seems actually quite irresponsible. Is if it is something that we should be protecting a little bit more, if we treat them like they're not, and we just.
I don't think the three of us are subtle.
It doesn't really matter, right? We already know people are trying to take them. Like, it's nothing wrong trying to figure out maybe exactly what they are instead of just being blatantly ignorant.
I'm not saying to
That's
choose
stupid.
ignorance. I'm just saying that there are things beyond our understanding, which I'd even say it's within our understanding, of people being able to know what's on your mind without you knowing that they know. So if in our heads, we just keep thinking of them as, oh, I just have a fancy paperweight in my bag, rather than, oh my god, I think we're carrying real dragon eggs.
Okay, well, that's different.
People listening in
If you
will
feel
have a
somebody
different
prying at
idea.
your mind, maybe don't think about that then.
Are you telling me without a shadow of a doubt that you would be able to tell if someone was reading your thoughts in this moment.
If someone was reading your thoughts, they'd be able to dig enough to know that you're fucking lying about it anyway.
Roll a
Someone
wisdom
reading
save,
my-
everybody. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Someone reading my thoughts all the time.
It's like, here comes the
It's me.
scry.
I'm just saying.
I'm reading
I
your thoughts
agree.
all
I
the time.
agree that we don't go around announcing that we have things that might be other things that we don't know. But trying to figure that out ourselves, I think, is bloody important. Especially if they are that important.
Thea's kind of quiet, and she reaches into her mind. Bagash, do you know?
Yes,
Do you know?
I know a lot of things. What in particular?
Are these more than just stones?
Everything's more than what it seems, darling.
Bargash's personality changes every single time I talk to him. When we started, he was a cowboy. And then he switched, and now
Look,
he's
obviously, Bargash is also more than what he seems.
I think he's distraught at the moment.
yeah.
No, I had completely forgotten I made him a cowboy. I'll be 100% honest, so I just fell back to
I'm liking this current personality. You
I-
should stick with it.
I think it's because of another campaign we're in.
I was like, but he's
I like either way. I think it's great either way.
you kind of close your eyes, Theo, and you find yourself kind of like within your mind palace, and like you're speaking
My
to like
mind palace.
you're speaking to sort of like the dark ichor like form that he takes. Like, there is something more to them, certainly. Whether they are what you think they are, or if that's just wishful thinking, I couldn't possibly tell. Strange things happen around the spine. Too much remnants of magical impacts and destruction from back in the day.
Were you there back in the day? Do you remember?
No. Unfortunately not. But just knowing the history. This is where the impact occurred. This is where the world broke. They named it after dragons, but it's not because of dragons, it's magic. It's magic because this is where the gods decided we're going to fuck everything up here. That sort of power doesn't go away. It leaves remnants, aftermaths. Whatever's going on, I don't know if it's exactly draconic in nature, or if it's just some weird magic rocks responding to other weird magical shit, but outside of the Godswood, we're quite possibly near one of the most magical places on the on the world and on the continent. So, as much as it pains me to agree with the arrogant bard, I think we have to.
All right.
Why did I get fucking insulted out of nowhere? I was
You
minding
can't
my
hear-
own fucking
you can't-
business.
You can't hear this. This is in my mind palace.
Theo's other half also isn't fond of you. Go figure. Even though they always protect you.
Boo.
Theo opens her eyes after having that entire conversation in her head.
Are you
Felix.
seasick?
Yes, just a little bit. I agree. We should. Felix is right.
Wait. Hold
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
Can you say that again?
Finn's eyes get really wide too. Like, what?
This is the
I
best
feel
day
like
of my
Finn.
life.
I feel like Finn reaches out and like feels Theo's forehead. It's like, are you ill? Are you? What is going on?
We can't treat them any more special, or else we'll be suspicious. We've already been taking very good care of them and protecting them. If we get too protective, we'll draw suspicions. It's best that we just continue to protect them just as well as we always have.
I'm
And
not
we'll-
saying we don't do that. I'm just saying we shouldn't take avenues to potentially try to figure out what they are. Like, obviously, like,
I
don't,
agree.
like,
Down the line. Right now, we have a job to do.
yeah, just fine.
All right. As you
She-
guys kind of
She kind of like fastens it up. She's a bit more like anytime she talks to Bargash, she gets a little bit more
you guys
quiet.
sort of
I
latch
don't-
the
maybe
box
don't
up.
take them out in front of a bunch of shipgoers.
That's why we went over to this corner.
Yeah, you guys are kind of in a little bit of a secluded corner. I
That's
would
okay,
say
I
though.
thought, I
That's
thought
why-
she was just like out on the deck,
Oh,
like
no, no, no,
looking
you-
at the fucking
We'd
rocks.
We'd
while,
started
like,
this. We'd started
Like-
this with her motioning to you guys to follow and us finding
Yes.
a secluded
You
section
are-
where they wouldn't.
I
see.
missed that part.
Yeah, you are in a little secluded corner. Finally, as you guys close up, you put the pack back on. I would like everybody to please roll me a perception check.
I've got
This is as you're the
Demon
fog.
Slayer bitch in my pack.
Yeah, the fog clears. You guys are finishing the
11.
bend. You're finishing the final turn that will lead into the straightaway that will be your final month's journey towards the Royal Aftermiria mines. So it was 11. What was the other ones?
13.
13 and
What?
perception check.
That's crappy. That's just a 9.
Theo, you're focusing on making sure everything's strapped to you, making sure you're good, and like you sort of like turn your back to the you turn your back to the mountains, like kind of like it's like, okay, we're focused, we're focusing on our job. As the rest of you guys, you kind of help her like restrap, because it's more than a one-person job. As you restrap and like you're about to, you guys, Finn and Felix, you both cast your eyes back to the mountain momentarily, kind of like one last look at them. And as you kind of like look back in the mountains, you like blink and you swear for a second. You swear you saw like a large winged shadow sort of fly over the mountain range, and you blink again, and then it's gone for an instant. That is where we will end our episode for today.
I love that Theo constantly misses the dragon shit. This
Thank you
happened.
all.
This
so
happened when
much.
we were in that fucking the
Yep.
smugglers thing. I missed the sound of a large creature inside the portal too. She
Thank
like
you
is the one
all.
person who believes in Santa Claus and just keeps
Never
missing.
sees him. Yeah.
Never sees him. Everyone else gets to see Santa Claus.
Thank you all so much for joining us for another episode of Dances with Dice. Please follow us on all social media channels at Dances with Dice. When you use the hashtag DWDcast or DWDart, we will use you as named NPCs in the show. Thank you all so much for joining us, and join us every single Tuesday for new episodes of Dances with Dice.
Everyone else gets to see Santa Claus.
Everyone else gets. He kicked out the wrong person.
Kicked out the wrong person.